I have used the Mooncup for 3 periods now, so I feel qualified to share my full review and thoughts with you if you were thinking about getting it. Off the bat, the main reason I chose to purchase the Mooncup was environmental reasons, because I was pretty disgusted when I realised and saw the figures of how much landfill sanitary products, women's sanitary products, fill up, and it's just really not cool. So this is what it looks like. It comes, when you first get it, with quite a long stem, and that stem is used to remove it. So when you're getting used to it, it's good to keep the stem on, and you will definitely need to trim it slightly because it will be poking out of you when you put it in. And the idea is that you want the stem to be short enough so that it's completely inside your vagina once you stand up. I personally found that I couldn't get the stem to sit comfortably inside me, so I simply just cut most of it off, and I've noticed a lot of people do that as well. However, definitely keep the stem on when you first get it, because it's a much more easier, comfortable way to remove it when you're just getting used to the feel of it and everything. I use lube to put it in, especially after I've had a shower, because obviously there's not going to be much natural lubrication there if you've just washed yourself. So I always just use a tiny bit of water-based lubricant, and I find that is so much more comfortable to apply it, especially when you are just using it for the first time. How you actually insert it is you fold it. So you're not just going to be going straight in with this, and that would be ineffective anyway, because the idea of the Mooncup is the cup creates like a suction against your vaginal wall, so your pelvic floor muscles are literally kind of holding the cup in place, and that is what causes the cup to stay in place and to collect the menstrual fluid throughout the day. So to insert it, you fold it up. You can fold it up 2 different ways. You can fold it up like that, or you can fold it up like that. I was using the first one for the first bit, but I feel like now I'm much more comfortable inserting it. I find this one is more quick and comfortable to get in, because obviously it's that tiny bit smaller than that, but it's completely up to you. And I think my main advice for your first time inserting it is just relax and take your time. I would say in general for your first few cycles, I'm getting a lot quicker and better at it now, but definitely for your first full cycle using it, just take your time. Make sure you have plenty of time to insert it, remove it, clean it and reinsert it. Don't be doing it when you have like just a few minutes and you're rushing to get out of the house or whatever. It's so different to a tampon, but it has so many benefits. The one thing I have hugely noticed is cramps, and a lot of people have reported this as well. I genuinely feel like the Mooncup and menstrual cups in general will relieve cramps significantly compared to wearing a tampon or a pad. And my theory for this is because it's about your pelvic floor muscles holding the cup in place. When you're on your period, when you think about it, those muscles are kind of tensing and contracting, and having that suction on your vaginal wall almost gives like a little bit of relief to those muscles, I feel like. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to get rid of cramps at all. I still experience cramps, but I just think they're a whole lot better than if I was using a tampon or a pad. Honestly, I can't even feel it once it's inserted properly. I almost forget that I'm on my period, which for some girls would be like, what? Are you joking? You just put it in and forget about it for 8 hours, and it's so comfortable, and it's so refreshing to just have your period be something that is a really simple, straightforward thing, rather than something that stresses you out or causes annoyance or inconvenience or pain. And it's just amazing. You can just be really comfortable and really relaxed in your own home and not have to worry about taking loads of things with you and changing throughout the day, and it's just so convenient and comfortable in that sense. I have a pretty heavy flow, especially on my first day, and I fill one of these during the day. So I definitely think if you have a particularly heavy flow, I would just keep an eye on it and just learn a bit more about your body and how long it would take you to fill it, because I have never personally overfilled it, but I've definitely got to the top on my heaviest days. So I wouldn't worry too much about it if you do have a heavy flow. I think it's definitely still compatible for you. I would just kind of be a bit observant for your first cycle or so, and maybe change it once or twice more on the days that you know you're probably going to be your heaviest. I do still wear a panty liner on the first 2 days of my period, just to make sure that whilst I have a heavy flow, I'm not getting anything on my knickers, because it's not that the Mooncup leaks at all. I will touch on that in a minute, because I've personally not experienced any leaking or anything like that from it. There's already going to be blood like towards the end of your vagina, so it's almost like that small amount is what goes on the panty liner. One thing I was definitely concerned about was the leaking, and the main advice that people have for that is you have to make sure it's inserted correctly, because like I said, it works with that suction. So you want to make sure that suction is fully open, the Mooncup is fully open, to make sure it's going to work in the way it's intended to. Once this bit is inside, you let go and it pops open, and you want to make sure you hear that noise. It's a really weird feeling at first, but that's how you know it's fully opened and it's that suction is grabbing onto your vaginal wall. And then what I do, because sometimes like one bit can be like suckered in like this, so if one tiny bit is like this, that is the bit that will leak. To make sure you get around that, you just want to get your finger, carefully insert it in yourself, and just make sure that around the edges everything is smooth. If there's any bits that are flat, you can either push around it and try and get it to be all smoothed out, or what I personally do is I kind of wiggle the cup around and try and rejig the position of it, because sometimes it's not in the correct position, and I find moving it around a little bit and also doing some pelvic floor exercises, so like tensing and releasing, that can like encourage your muscles to grab around it. So now I'll move on to cons, and this con isn't really a con for me, but I know that it will be a con for many people. If you are someone who doesn't enjoy using manual tampons, as in the tampons that you have to physically put in yourself and not use the applicator with, then you will definitely have a hard time adjusting to the menstrual cup. That's not to say that you can't use one. And I think if you are wanting to try it for environmental reasons or health reasons or whatever, I would really encourage you to get comfortable with your body and accept the fact that you have to touch yourself and touch your own menstrual blood. It's not a big deal to me, so I can't imagine it. Why wouldn't you just accept that as a thing, rather than trying to hide it or not face it, or do something for your body that is healthier, more comfortable, more environmentally friendly, just so you can avoid touching a bit of blood. To me, it's just confusing. But I totally get and respect that it might freak people out, so that's why I'm putting it in as a con. I really want to hear from you if you have long nails, or if you have like big acrylic fake nails and you use a menstrual cup, because A, please tell me your secrets and how you do it, and B, if you do have those and you are considering getting a menstrual cup, just please be careful. In inserting it, you do have to really get up close and personal with yourself, and if you're inserting your finger into your vagina and the cup is already in there, there is not much space between here, so you are going to scratch yourself if you have long nails, surely. So what I tend to do is I like having shorter nails a lot of the time anyway, and I find I grow my nails out and then cut them short. So I have really short nails for a while and then they grow long, and I just cycle that with my period. So when I know I'm coming on, I will literally just chop all my nails off, because I find it so much more comfortable and so much more hygienic to be able to use my cup and have really short nails. The other con is obviously it's a huge learning curve to make sure you've inserted the Mooncup right. It's almost like when you first get your period and you're first using a tampon for the first time, because it's just terrifying. Like, it's so alien and it just feels really weird, and you're not sure whether you're doing it right. You have to really give the Mooncup a full go for a full cycle to notice all of the benefits of it, but also just to really learn how to use it properly. And for some people they just wouldn't want to do that. They would just rather stick to the convenience of pads and tampons. And those are the cons for me, as in the cons that I personally can think of. One quick word on cleaning. Take the cup out, you pour it in the toilet, and then you can wipe most of the blood off with a tissue and then wash it in the sink. If you're changing it in a public bathroom, you can take a bottle of water into the bathroom with you and just rinse it like you would at the sink. And then at the end of your cycle, if you want to fully disinfect it, you can boil it in a pan of water for 5 minutes and then leave it to dry. One little tip I learned off a YouTube channel that I watch, which is an amazing YouTube channel by the way, and she talks all about the different types of cups, like the different brands. So Mooncup might not be right for you, so head to her channel to have a look at that. But one amazing tip that she shares in her videos about cleaning it is one of these little guys. These are like the little dentist, I think you use these to clean like retainers or something. Anyway, my mum had them in a bathroom, so I just stole one out of the packet. But these you can use to push through the little holes, because the Mooncup has these little holes in and they can get dirty and they're a bit of a pain to clean. So having these little guys is so helpful. And that is my Mooncup, guys. I hope you found this video helpful if you were considering a menstrual cup. Let me know if I've not mentioned anything that you were curious about. Leave me a question or a comment below and I will get back to you. Please subscribe if you're new and give this video a thumbs up if you want me to chat more about these kind of topics, if you want me to chat more about women's health and periods and stuff, because it's definitely something I enjoy chatting about with my friends. So let me know and I will do more videos like this in future, and I will see you in my next one.